So let's talk about some light bulb moments and, what would get really our business going, what turns the light on our business. And that's, how do we get prospects reaching out and asking about our products and services, that inbound lead generation, that inbound marketing. That's going to keep you guys from having everything rest on your shoulders for outbound. I will tell you, I was talking to Heather and reviewing her week. Heather made 400 phone calls. 5 people picked up the phone. A little bit over 1% contact rate. She was frustrated. I can understand why. So what you want to do is realize in this day, in this environment, that you've got to create some interest on the front side. It can't be all manufactured from you on an outbound level. So what would it feel like? Just imagine to increase those sales, increase those partner hires, get multiple offices set up. You got to get excited about the end result. You made the decision to make it happen. The rest is the action point, and we're going to try to make that easier for you guys. And how do we do this without complicated funnels or websites that you're building? We're going to go through something today that I hope will make sense to you. So the challenges that I hear most, in warm market, either people coming from the industry, I burned out my warm market, or people from not in the industry. I burned out my warm market. I don't want to talk to anybody. That's your choice, but I will tell you that the business opportunity is a CYA. If you're making a ton of money, you don't want people coming back and say, hey, you never offered this to me. On the product side, you want to push it because just in the few years we've been doing this, partners have had things happen. We've had, Alana and I, multiple people around us die. So things happen, and you want to make sure that you took that extra time to reach out to the people that you invited into your life, whether it's the real inner circle or a little bit of an outer circle, and make sure they've at least been, had the opportunity to see what you do, both on the client and partner side. On social media, I hear a bunch of challenges that we're going to go through. Cold market, obviously, I hear it is a grueling, chilly place to be. It can be part of your overall approach, can't be the whole approach. And the common market, I don't think enough of you guys really are using the common market because I don't really hear a lot of feedback from that. I think the challenge with the common market is just to implement it, and that's real easy. If somebody went to your school, worked at a previous place, part of a civic society you belong to, that's that bridge or loose commonality that's going to give you an entry point to open a conversation. So today what we're going to open with is social media, and that's what really we're going to talk about today and for the next 2 or 3 weeks is digital marketing, social media, how to create that engagement that leads to a pipeline of leads. So part of what I hear is that I just don't know what to do. I have so many questions. It's so overwhelming that I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to shut down. Well, what you have to understand is you're not going to be an expert overnight. You're not going to be an expert at anything overnight. You've got to put the hours into it, and the hours are from all the way to the education, watching stuff, looking at webinars, getting better at what you do, trying to implement some of that stuff, test it, and learn until you've got something that's actually executing, and then you just repeat that until it doesn't execute anymore. Also, some more challenges that I hear is that, hey, with everything I've got going on, if you're full-time or part-time, it'll be differences between a job and other commitments. But basically what I hear is, social media seems like it's going to take a long time, and I just don't have it. How do I find the time to go on there, and how do I find the time to do what I need to do to be successful with online marketing? Well, I will tell you, good or bad, people find time for the stuff that's important to them. So if you make this a priority, you make this important, then you will find time for it. Like Alana said, if we're watching Netflix, if we're doing this or that, and we're wasting 2, 3, 4 hours a day, if you invest that into yourself, whether it be personal, whether it be business, you're going to get a lot more rewards out of the back end. Time is the most important investment we can make. So when your partners tell you don't have time, well, let's talk about what you're doing on a daily basis. And then also I hear that it's pointless. What's the point of doing online marketing, social media? It's so crowded. No one pays attention to anything, and I just feel like I'm wasting my time, and if I'm going to look at paid advertisement, wasting my dollars. Well, I can tell you that a lot of people in the online world doing social media, doing digital marketing, they fail. They don't know the correct way to do it. So understand these masses of people that you see out there doing the exact same thing, getting little to no results. Once you break away from that and understand what to do online and why and how, you separate yourself from the crowd. And I will tell you that percentage of people that are doing it correctly are executing, they're making money, and they're converting dollars into $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, whatever it might be, on ad costs versus revenue and income. So what if? What if we can talk about right now today a way where you can go out and you can create stories that, lead to outcomes or transformations that people are interested in? Well, that's going to change what you're doing in trying to manufacture and create interest on outbound into people that are already interested. And we're going to go through this today. Concentration a little bit on Facebook, but you can take this and you can, move it over to LinkedIn. I think next week we'll do a whole LinkedIn engagement. But today, just kind of pick up on what we're talking about, because what to do is very, very easy. You choose a story of transformation or result. Somebody who's gotten a transformation, somebody who's gotten a result, could know them, could not, whatever it might be, it doesn't really matter. You create a well-structured post around it. You choose how it will be posted, organic or paid. Now, obviously, there's going to be differences in what you can do and, how you can use that, but it works for both ways. Post creates engagement. That's very important. And that one of the reasons why we're doing this today, I see a lot of you guys out there posting the stuff from WealthWave. It's great stuff, but just taking something and posting it, what I'm seeing is that there's no engagement. Some of the people in our own team like it, but overall it's not doing anything for you. And so what you have to realize is that a lot of that stuff in the WealthWave system, it's great for follow-up. It's great for getting back in front of people, but you can't just post that and expect the masses to come in and start asking you questions. What's going to happen is that post and creates engagement, and the prospect is going to be exposed to a product or service or opportunity, guess what, that they actually have some interest in. Open more conversations, create more leads, and close more deals. So Facebook, you want to understand that Facebook is the most advanced digital survey the world has ever known. Their value is primarily driven by how much they can find out about their users. This next slide is going to be scary if you're worried about your security, but from the point of a marketer, you have to understand what you can access. So just a few things that Facebook knows about you. It is a long list, and it can get very invasive to some people, and that's why people, some people choose not to be on Facebook, close their Facebook. But I will tell you, the people that are on Facebook, for you as a marketer, when you have this type of information about somebody, you can set things up to go to the right exact people with the right exact message that you think is going to start getting them to raise their hand and respond back, call to action, message, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Facebook algorithm knows who the people are that already want your product, service, or opportunity. Now, I know that seems like, that seems like a little bit fake or far-fetched, but it's true. That algorithm has been going on for years. It gets smarter, it gets better, it gets more powerful. So it has so much information about the potential prospect that you want to reach that all you have to do is tell it who to find, and it'll find it for you. Facebook will even let you get your structured post right in the middle of your prospect's news feed for pennies on paid ads. So right there in the news feed, if somebody pulls it up, your stuff's right there. Like I said, you can do this organically. If you want to throw fuel on the fire and have access to all those additional things and really get, your filters built to the point that you know exactly who you're talking to with a message you think is going to resonate, you have to throw a little bit of money. The good thing about Facebook is that you'll see it doesn't take a lot. $5 here, $5 there. You can start to learn, and then, as you learn and get more confident, you can start to, expand and build off of that. The one problem with how people currently use a lot of online marketing, social media, is that they just don't know. So the problem is when you go through here, most business owners, most people pitching stuff, they tag friends, family, acquaintances in posts. They use their company name, even logo when marketing. They send those unsolicited messages about their business. They spam groups. They post their links to their wall or post tons of promotional posts. They run ads that are pitchy, that look out of place. And if, you or anybody that's done this, it just doesn't work. If, like I said, if we're going to do the same thing over and over and over again, if it doesn't work the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, why are we going to continue to do that? So let's take an alternate path here and let's learn some new things. And the good news is there are answers. There are people. There are ways that you can learn how to flip it and create a lot of inbound interest in what you're already doing from people that you want to speak to based on what you set it up for. Everyone on social media loves two things. They love a great picture and they love an inspirational story. So this is the picture of this is going to be a cool picture anyway of a sunset. This is a picture of somebody taking that picture, found this picture of a plane flying through the moon. So you have to understand that 80+%, maybe even 90% of that post is going to be image. With people scrolling through all day, you've got to have an image that at least grabs their attention for a few seconds to get them to notice you. That's half the battle. And then you've got to learn how to tell a good story. So the picture, the image, and a story is going to create interest in what you're doing. So what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about using, change to create chances for you. And everything changes. The algorithms of these change. Digital disruption hits industries. And there's two people. There's winners and losers. There's people that adapt to that, and they go forward, and they capitalize on that. And there's people that fall by the wayside. They don't adapt. And they eventually end up dying, professionally speaking. So changes in platform like Facebook make some of those old approaches less effective. But they open doors for you guys as marketers for people using the new approaches and adapting to that new environment. Recent changes have created one of the best opportunities to adapt and prevail, and that's really what you want to look at. When all of these old strategies that were working that don't work anymore, that's cutting a lot of people out of the marketplace. And if they don't adapt, you have a chance to come in. You have a chance to take that market share. You have a chance to take those leads, and that's definitely something that you want to do. Well, one of the things we're going to talk about today is that, a few years ago, whenever Facebook offered to buy, I think it was Snapchat, they turned it down. Facebook went in and created, Instagram stories. They also went in and made a commitment to their Facebook Messenger. Now Facebook Messenger is the leading messaging app in the United States. So the future of Facebook, according to Zuckerberg, is messaging. It's, the open rates, all of these things in Messenger that a few years ago were basically non-existent are not only existent now, but they're actually performing. And the marketers that understand this and know this are creating conversations through what they do in a platform like Facebook very, very easily. So let's talk about some 101 education. So the structured story post 101, why do these posts work so well? Because if you're out there with just facts tell, but stories sell. Remember, if you're going to put a bunch of statistics and stuff out there, nobody wants to read that. People like images and people like stories. And then secondly, people don't really listen until they feel understood. So if you can craft posts that preemptively help that person feel understood, they're going to be more apt to want to talk to you, buy into what you're trying to do. And the last part of the 101 education for this is you've got to choose a goal for your post. Once again, what is it that you're trying to accomplish out of this? Are you trying to get somebody to Messenger? Are you trying to get somebody to comment on the post? Are you trying to get somebody to opt in to a call to action, to a website, to a landing page, whatever it is? So first, understand what you're doing, understand the goal or the objective of that post, and that will help you, line up the framework. So let's go through the steps. Steps 1, 2, 3. Step 1, you got to know your audience. And this is not anything new for you guys. If you've been around, we've been beating the table for this for a long time. Who's your ideal customer? What do you know about them? Put yourself in their shoes. What are some perceived problems? What are they dealing with? Concerns, pains, dreams, desires, what keeps them up at night. Like I said, none of this should be new to us, but it's just, a reaffirmation that's very, very important going in to know your audience. Now, list the biggest potential objections they'll likely have specific to what you're offering. So already know what the typical objections are and go ahead and put that in the post. That'll help overcome that. And then determine their language. How do they talk? What are their buzzwords? And, speak to them as that person. So step 1, know your audience. Step 2, you want to gather the information to structure your post. You want to choose a story of result, the testimonial transformation of somebody who resembles your perfect prospect. If it's a term of living benefits, if it's an annuity, if it's an IUL, if it's a business partner, choose a story of testimonial transformation. And this is how it's structured. You have the problem, pain, past experience. You have the roadblock or reason why most people in that situation don't get to the desired outcome. What is the desired outcome? And what does the future look like if that desired outcome is reached or if it's not reached? So the good outcome or bad outcome, depending on what happens. I kind of drew a line right here because this kind of separates, and this gets more into the body of the post. The introduction, the teacher, not necessarily human. Sometimes it could be how money works books, something else that's out there. So just what taught them how to get to where they want to go. And finally, the solution. And you can see the acronym right here, profits. If you structure this correctly, it should lead to profits. Now, your post does not have to include all of them, but what you want to make sure is if it doesn't fall into the line of this framework, leave it out. Step 3, you got to structure your post. And remember, grabbing picture, colorful, stands out, all of these things. Think engagement, fun, exciting lifestyle. Doesn't have to be yours. Nothing stock. I hope you guys know what stock is. That's when you go to like Google Images and you find something that's got like a watermark or it's got writing on the front. That looks terrible. So nothing stock, but anything else will work. And just test things. Things are going to work. Things are not going to work. Just test them. And then the 3 key elements to a well-structured post is the hook. You've got to get somebody interested. Like I said, that's like your quick little hook, your elevator speech, whatever it is. This is the first few sentences. It incorporates either a pain or an outcome, and then you've got to learn how to use curiosity to move people forward. Depending on the ad format, you may be able to include a headline. So the pain point, that's the hook, that's the outcome, that's just getting people interested to go further, whether it's an ad or a post, what you're trying to get them to do. Now remember, the hook, and we just went through this, is going to, on a paid advertisement, I don't know if you guys seen the sponsored, a lot of the stuff will come through and it'll say like ... continue reading, ... see more. Well, if your hook's good enough, people are going to click it to continue reading, the right people will, or to see more. But what you also have to understand is that when you have an ad out there and you have people clicking to continue reading, clicking to see more, that sends a little signal to Facebook, hey, people like this. It starts to upgrade and it starts to get into a better scenario where it can go out there and feel confident and dispersing that to larger crowds. And the body. So once you've got the hook, you got the body. And that tells the prospect story back to them through the testimonial story. You use all of those things that we talked about, the profit pieces, and you appeal to hot buttons. Some universal ones are time, money, ease. So, for example, on our opportunity for the business, it's not all about being a multimillionaire and having a plane and all this stuff. Sometimes it's just about, I want to spend time with my kids. I want to be able to make their sports practices. I want to go to the rehearsals, all the things that I couldn't do because I was locked in this situation. So remember, the hot buttons is going to be something that you can come up with on your own that appeal to you or from other people that you've seen come into A, B, or C, whatever it is, product, business, opportunity, and what that means. Use influence or mental triggers to get people excited. Example, likability. Write like you speak. And another example is trust. Be authentic. Don't be afraid to exhibit flaws. People love real. People love authenticity. People will sniff you out if you're not real in the online marketplace. So be real, and people will be, the right kind of people will be attracted to that. So tell me the story in the body. And this is one I found, and I like this because it's not all like, oh, look at me, I'm, making millions and millions of dollars. Got some good news to report. While I'm not yet sitting with my family on the beaches around the world, LOL, finally generating daily leads, making sales, and growing my business. The best part, it's what I'm doing now. It takes me less than an hour a day. My prospects don't just respond. They're excited to hear from me. I mean, imagine connecting with people who want to connect with you. They're interested in what you do. They want to know more about your product, service, or opportunity. It gets a lot better than getting stood up or blown off by friends and family, right? So this guy's saying, hey, I'm not to the pinnacle yet, but what I have done, I'm excited about it. I want to share with you. That's something that's real and authentic, you guys. And then finally, you got the call to action. What's that objection? Are you sending them to a page, a website? Are you asking them to do something? That's the call to action. Be clear and tell them what you want them to do next. Tell them what they'll get or what they'll do. It's not mandatory, but it's great. It works great to a lead with a valuable resource that solves a major problem that your ideal customer is facing. The call to action key is be clear, concise, short. Don't make it a high level of commitment because the higher the commitment level, the more you ask somebody to do, the lower the conversion. So Speak to them in an elementary, kindergarten way. What do you want them to do and why? That's the call to action. So let's talk about some story examples here. This is from the health and wellness. So you can see I ran into a friend the other day, and I almost didn't recognize her. How the heck did she experience this amazing outcome that your ideal customer wants? Plug that in right there. I asked, ... Surely she was, this is the typical pain or roadblock that people encounter that makes them give up or not get to that desired outcome. Then she made an introduction. So outcome, pain, roadblock, introduction. Let's see how this works. On the very next page, I ran into my friend at a local pool the other day and almost didn't recognize her. How did a mom of 3 carve out this bikini bod and literally take years off in the process? I asked, ... Surely she was spending hours at the gym or starving herself. Remember, people want to look good. That's normally what they go. Got to go to the gym. I got to starve myself, crash diets. That's why it doesn't work. So we're preemptively coming over that and letting people know that she didn't do this. Then she told me something I couldn't believe, ... So now the example body. So that was the first part was the hook. This is the body. When she told me that she was something simple, easy, low cost, and time friendly, what are you offering? And I combined it with the solution. That was a great feature and an outcome. I had to know more. So take this example right here and let's structure a story. This is the body. When she told me that she was doing a few simple and easy exercises at home that took just 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, ... and had combined it with a nutritional product that was all natural, eliminated her cravings, and actually saved money on her groceries, ... So the hook gets them in to continue. The body's telling the story. And then finally, you have the call to action. Thankfully, she shared everything with me, and I am simple, even understated outcome future. This has been such great a gift I want to share with others. If you want to know how we're getting the outcome and experience a desired future without the pain points or problems, and it doesn't look like even, the typical roadblocks or past experiences. Simple on this one, send message button below, and I'll shoot the details via private message. So let's look how that looks. Thankfully, she shared everything with me, and I'm already feeling great, starting to see the results. This has been such a great gift. I wanted to share it with others. If you want to know how we're shedding pounds fast and enjoying tons of energy without crash diets or rigorous exercise programs, truth be told, before this, I never stuck to a diet. That's being real and authentic. Simply hit the send message button. I'll send you the details. So understand the framework yields, kind of like when you were in high school and they say, hey, write this paper, build the outline first, go back to the outline, build the paper off of it. Same thing here. You got an outline, got that outline, you just build the story according to the hook, the body, and the call to action. So let's talk a little bit about paid advertising. Like I said, you can take this framework and you can instantly start using it organically. What you won't be able to do is, separate the story and do some of the things that paid advertising will do for you, including setting up the audience. First thing you want to do when you're looking at Facebook paid advertising is, number one, you have to have a fan or a business page. If you don't have one, it takes about 5 minutes to set up, very easy. Next thing, most people are going to say, well, I don't want to do any advertising because I have 0 likes. Well, you can invite your friends and family to like your business page, or you can go on, $30-40 online. Somebody will, over the course of a few days, get you 500, 1,000 likes. So there's always solutions. If you're uneasy about something because of X, there's usually a solution on the back end that will help you solve that. So when you create a new campaign, you've got to understand what's your objective. Are you trying to create awareness? Are you trying to create consideration? Are you trying to create conversion? And messages is one of the new conversion or considerations that's very new. And it's also something that I think that for this type of business, it's something that can create a lot of inbound lead marketing for you. So first of all, what is your marketing objective? And then finally, or secondly, you want to get a daily budget. Now, for somebody who comes in and has little to no money, if they want to test this out, you could run, $5 a day for 3 days a week and spend $15 a week and at least start to get some results back in terms of the data that you can start to learn from. You don't want to come in, if you don't understand something, just blindly throw money at it, because that's a good way to lose thousands of dollars. You want to go through the process and spend as little money learning as possible. And then once you've got the data to support spending more money, it goes from being an emotional decision where you're just starting to throw money out there to a data-driven decision. That's how you build a business, data-driven decisions. So start with a low budget, learn your numbers. Once those key performance indicators are understood, like I said, it's easy to increase that budget with confidence because we're making data-driven decisions, not emotional ones. Next thing is you want to start to set up, if it was a consideration, you can see right here, click to messenger. So what that ad was trying to do that we are setting up here, it's trying to get people to click on something that will go into the messenger and ask for more additional information. Once you've got your destination set up, then it's really about creating your audience. And creating your audience is pretty easy. Where, first of all, in the U.S., obviously, that's where we're going to be operating. And then from a little bit of just some general filters, we've got 220 million people over here. Now we are going to, do an age range. We're going to do gender. You're looking for men, women. There's a specific language that you're looking for. Detailed targeting right here. And then as you're going through here, you can see the detailed targeting, new parents, or these parents, have a baby that's 0 to 12 months. Well, ding, ding, ding. What is that telling you? $1 million baby, IUL. Parents with adult children, all of this stuff. And you can get an audience that's getting your information, getting your post detailed down to the point of their interest. So understand that once you learn how to do this, it's going to take a lot of what you guys are struggling with, which is manufacturing interest from outbound lead gen, or from outbound marketing, from outbound calling, from cold calling, and it's going to flip the script and allow you to talk to people who have already been introduced to what you do and have some level of interest. And then look at this, narrow your audience even further. So in this example, I want to talk to people that are interested in physical exercise, and trust me, Facebook's going to know. And then you can see by adding additional filters, we're down to 490,000 people here. So the more you do, the less that, size of that audience or the potential reach will be. You get it down to a couple 100,000 people, I think you've got a good way to test. Now, when you get to this section right here, placements, all you've got to do is set up the audience, because from placements down, guess what? It's all automatic. And the reason is because you don't know, you're not smart in the Facebook algorithm, so it's going to set all of this stuff up for you automatically according to what you set up the audience to look like. It's going to go out there and do the rest. And then when you get to the create the ad, you can, a carousel, 2 or more scrolling images. I like the single image. I think if you've got a powerful image that's going to grab the attention and at least buy you a couple of seconds there, I think that's best, but that's your choice. And then from this point, the ad setup. So the primary text. So, right here would be that hook, right? And then you got the description that goes down into, the body and the call to actions. And then when you set that messenger, if your consideration was you want to send people over to Messenger to request more information, that's what you do. You just start the conversation, you create the chat, and then with systems you can actually create multiple questions. I think in the beginning, for you and your audience, it's best just to get a call to action that's really easy to understand, requesting more information. As you get more comfortable with what you're doing, maybe you open up a little automatic chat conversation. Step number 4, like anything you do, got to know your numbers. So what is it you're trying to sell? Now, if it's a product, then it's going to be very easy. What's the advance on that? Now, you're going to have some additional residual, but I really look at, okay, if I'm selling a term policy, what's my advance for year 1? And I use that as the number that I get my return on investment for my ad. If it's a partner, what you have to understand is there's an exchange, and there's 2 other training sales that you make a spread off of. The combination of those 3 sales will equal something. You should know what a partner is worth for you. And then, of course, the long-term value of a partner is unknown. And then how many messages does it take to get the sale? If you're getting 10 call to actions, they're going over to messages, and out of those 10, you get 1 sale out of that. Well, $100 divided by 10, $10 per message, that's break even. In our industry, guys, especially on the product side, very easy to get your post and your ads into a nice return on investment. Like I said, once you're making data-driven decisions and you're investing $1 to make $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, whatever it might be, easy to go in there with confidence knowing what you're doing. Step 5, grow your business fast. And this is where you get the partnerships of WealthWave, Virtual Financial, and WFG to absorb that growth. Your job is to go on the front side and manufacture enough advertisement, enough posts, enough ways that you've got enough inbound marketing so it doesn't fall all on your shoulders. Test your ads. Keep getting better results. Imagine reinvesting and creating the compound effect in your business. Think about that compounding penny. Remember, a penny over a month compounded daily turns into over $1 million. Watch your business reach new previously unthinkable growth. You want to spend time, energy, effort, money into things that are proven to work. So try, test, and learn fun. Set a little bit of money aside for yourself. Now, if you're really broke at this point, I understand. Set aside a little money, give yourself a little budget, not anything extravagant, and go ahead and learn some of these tools, because once you learn how to effectively post, create engagement, get the call to actions down to the point where you've got leads coming in,